Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. This tutorial is going to be about answering a past question, an A-level past question in graphic design, and it's based on the year 2018 and it's the practical paper 4. Yeah. It's the practical paper 4 in information technology. Cambridge International Examinations, Cambridge International Advanced Subsidiary and Advanced Level Paper. Information Technology Paper 4, Advanced Practical, May-June 2018. The actual paper lasts for 2 hours 30 minutes. So this tutorial is going to be based on the graphic design aspect, which is task 1, and we are also going to follow it up with task 2, which is the animation part. So this tutorial is actually divided into 2 parts. This is going to be the first part, which will dwell on the drawings, and the second part will dwell on animating. So first, let's have a look at the question, which says, and I read, TTS are preparing for their 10-year anniversary. Create a folder called TTS. All images, animations, and web pages should be saved in this folder. All files must be of a professional standard and suit the business context. All saved file names must contain the candidate details. You must use the most efficient method to complete each task. You are required to produce an A4 21 cm by 29.7 anniversary image showing 3 colored balloons with text above and below. Individual images of each balloon should be saved in an open standard vector graphics format. Okay, so we are going to begin by looking at task 1, subsection A. Task 1, subsection A, it says, use a graphic application to create a single balloon. The balloon should be resizable without loss of quality. The preamble earlier stated that individual images of each balloon should be saved in an open standard vector graphics format. So the word vector itself should give you an idea that we are going to be working in Adobe Illustrator. So for the purpose of this work, I'm going to be switching between the question paper and the vector editor when need be. So let's begin. First, we are going to draw the balloon. The balloon should be created from 2 shapes, the body and the neck. The 2 shapes should be combined to make a single shape with a continuous 1 point black outline. That's a point we should take note of. 1 point black outline. And another point we can take is the balloon should be created from 2 shapes. So it should have the body and the neck. The 2 shapes should be combined to 1 shape. Okay. So let's get this one done first. So before then, I'm going to go to my desktop and create a new folder as required and name it TTS as required in the question. Now I'm going to go back into the vector editing platform and create a new artboard as required, A4. So that's what we have here. I select A4 and it gives me my A4 sheet. To make the most out of vector editing, the workspace or preferred workspace I use is the painting. So if yours is not set to painting, kindly do so. Okay, so I'm going to begin by picking the ellipse tool. I'm going to the top left corner just under the file menu and picking a random color. For the purpose of this tutorial, I would like to work in RGB mode. We have the CMYK and RGB mode, so I'm going to create a new file so we can discard the first one. And then when you look at where the dimensions of the A4 is, just below it you see here advanced options. So you can change that to RGB. You have this caution sign here, but it will not affect your work, so just change it to RGB. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Coincidentally, our balloons we are going to draw are red, green, and blue as well. And CMYK, as you see here, stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. So with my ellipse tool selected, I'm going to change the fill color to red, and I'm going to draw a perfect circle by holding down Shift. We've also ensured that the stroke size is 1 point, or the stroke weight. So I have my circle with a black stroke around it. To be sure that your stroke is black, you can click on it and select your ellipse first, click on the stroke drop down and select black. I'm going to select the ellipse again and select my direct selection tool, which is just under it, and come to the bottom anchor of the ellipse. Going to click on it twice, or double click on the bottom anchor and drag down a bit till you have this balloon shaped oval. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and this time I'm going to draw the neck part. We were required to draw two shapes. I'm going to curve in the bottom part of this portion of the shape we have here. So I'm going to select it, select my direct selection tool. I'm going to select the pen tool instead, and I'm going to add an anchor point to the center of the bottom section. You see the plus sign? It means you can add an anchor point. So I'm going to click on the path once, and then when you zoom in, we should see this little point here. Good. So I'm going to select my direct selection tool this time, and up here we are going to convert the anchor point to a smooth curve. So when you click on it once, what happens is you see these round handles forming by the sides. These round handles forming by the sides. They are going to help you in creating the curve. So still with the direct selection tool selected, I'm going to hold the center and drag upwards. Our curve looks a bit cornered, so we are going to look at the handles on both ends and drag them further to the right and the left. So you can hold down shift whilst you are dragging. So you have a perfect curve under the neck of your balloon. Now I'm going to reduce the size a little bit. So that it doesn't look so huge. Let's have a look at what we have in the question. Yeah, almost the same. So I'm going to place that just beneath here. I'm going to resize my artboard like this, and I'm going to select both the balloon and the neck and go to my alignment panel and select horizontal align. I'm going to unify or unite both shapes by going to the Pathfinder panel and select Unite. This is for Unite. So we have one shape now. Next thing we are going to draw is the, let's be sure whether we're on the right path. We are going to draw a string. I think so. Yeah, so the balloon should have a pure red flow that creates an appearance of a light bloom. Light bloom means something of a gradient, something like a light shining on it. So we are going to do that. Let me highlight that. Light bloom, and there should be a drawing added to look like a piece of string knotted around the neck. So I'm going to highlight this as well. Piece of string knotted around the neck. The final balloon should look similar to the one shown and saved as red balloon. Okay. So let's create a light bloom first. You're going to select with your balloon selected, you go to the gradient panel here, and there are many ways of doing this. You can either drag the fill you have here onto the slider like this, and then you have three sliders here. Now we have the white and the black and the red that you just added. Now you need only the red and then the white because you are creating a light bloom. So to take out the black, you can select, and you see this pin here. Just click on it once and it goes away. So now I select the red one and drag it to the far end so that we have somewhat of an equal proportion. Now if I want to spread the red further or give more red, you see this small gradient slider here. I just have to drag it to the left further to give some importance or to highlight the red a little bit more. Now with the light bloom, we will need the gradient type to be radial. What we have right now is it's not radial, it's linear. We have diagonal as well, and so the radial one is the one in the middle here, this button here. So click on it once. So you have this shining light on the red. And one thing you should notice as well is when you look at the question carefully, you see that the light bloom is somewhat in the top right corner of the balloon. So we are going to change the position of the light bloom to the top right corner. So how are we going to do that? We are going to select the gradient tool, or we press G on your keyboard, and then this slider shows up. So when you hover your mouse and see this black arrow, you can reposition it to where you prefer. So we are going to place it somewhere here and leave it at that. So we have a light bloom created. Next thing we are going to create is the string around the neck. So I'm going to zoom in as we are going to do that. And to zoom in, you can press Ctrl and the plus key repeatedly so you get your desired zoom. So I'm going to select the pen tool and make sure that it has no fill. So I'm going to select none for the fill, and I'm going to maintain the stroke as black. For the string, we are going to have a black string. Now with nothing selected, ensure that nothing is selected on the artboard, and then you just click once, and then when you come to the other side of the neck of the balloon, click and hold as you drag a bit to the top right corner of your screen, and then you create this arc. Now you have this annoying line following wherever you are, so you just press escape or press V on your keyboard for it to go away. So we have the first part of our string created. Now we're going to pick the pen tool once again. And this time around we're going to click a little bit lower and then click at the same point that we created the first one. Alright, just beneath it, and create another arc. And this time around we are going to bring the pen to back to where it ended, and then when you see this inverted V, click on it once again. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I need a long string, and click somewhere just beneath the balloon and hold as I create another arc, and then I press V to escape. So I'm going to zoom in as I give the impression of joined lines. So I'm going to pick the first line and place it just on the second one like this, and I'm going to create a little knot by selecting the ellipse tool and drawing this little arc. I'm going to duplicate it by holding down Alt and dragging another one down like this. You can reduce the size of that one a bit. And I'm going to right click and select group and bring them to the corner of where the lines were joined and rotate them a little bit like this. Now we have this edge here protruding out, so we are going to push it in a little bit. I'm going to do the same for this. Zoom in. So that's it. So this looks much better. Now we can select everything that we've done for the string. Right click and group. So we can go back to the question and check what we should do next. So we have to save the final balloon looks very similar to the one shown, and save the image as red balloon. So we are going to save in vector format in the folder that was provided, or the folder that we created at the beginning. Next question. Duplicate the balloon to create a pure green balloon. So we're going to have a green balloon and a blue balloon. As I said earlier, I'm going to be switching in between the question and the vector editor so as we get everything right and follow instructions correctly. So to create another version or another color, all I need to do this time around is just click on the balloon we've created once, go to your color swatch or your gradient swatch and select the right color, the color slider to your right, which is red, and double click, and this time around we are creating green. So all you need to do is just change the color and then you have a green balloon. But this time around we are going to file and save as, not save. If you select save, you save on the red one and you lose that balloon. So you select save as, and this time you type green balloon. You're going to do the same thing for the blue version. Select the balloon, select your gradient tool or gradient panel, double click on the far right color and change it to blue. And go to file, save as blue balloon. So your folder should have 3 files by now, the red, green and the blue. So we're going to go to the next task, which says create a new image using the 3 balloons. Place the balloons in the order red, green, and blue. Position as follows. Save the image as 3 balloons. So we have the red, the green, and the blue. Just ensure that we arrange them exactly the way it is shown here, with the red one furthest on top, followed by the blue, and followed by the green, and with the red balloon in front of the green one, and the green one in front of the blue one. So I'm going to highlight those points, create 3 images, create a new image using the 3 balloons, place the balloons in the order. So this is the main point, red, green, and blue, and position that should, and save as 3 balloons. This is also going to be a vector file, 3 balloons. I'm going to file, I'm going to create a new artboard, still using the, let me ensure that I'm in RGB mode and A4, then I select create. Now all I need to do is bring all the balloons onto this artboard so that we can create the image. So I'm going to open the green and the red balloon. The blue balloon is already open, and I'm going to drag them to the new artboard one by one. Okay, I think what we should have done before dragging is to group the balloon and the string here, so that it follows it. So we have the red balloon here. Select all, group, and then drag. And then blue one, select all, group, and drag. Now we're going to resize the balloons and reposition them according to how it's required. I'm going to resize as I hold shift and resize them. Now I'm going to rearrange them. First, I'll have to bring the green one in front of the blue. So I right click on it and select arrange. Then I say bring to front. So this is what happens. It comes in front. And the red is in front of all of them. So I'll right click on the red, arrange, bring to front. So we have our 3 balloons. So next thing you do is just go to save. Since it's a new artboard, you can just go to save directly and type in the name. So okay, so you are done with that task as well. The next portion, or the next part, which is D, it says add the text TTS is 10 to a curved path above the balloons. text should be in a black script font. Add the text. A big thank you to all our clients. Below the balloons in the same font. The text this time around was going to be red with a black outline. The final image should be similar to the one shown, and we're going to save it as TTS 10. And when we are done, we are going to save a copy of the image in a bitmap format with a transparent background. So first of all, I'm going to draw the arc on which our text is going to lie by using the pen tool. But this time I'm going to ensure the fill is none and the stroke is also none. So we're going to use only a transparent path. So I click once, hold down shift, go to the other end, and as I click, I hold and drag to the bottom right as I create an arc. Now I press V or escape to get rid of the excess curve and reposition the arc. Now I'm going to pick my type tool, click and hold so that you get a drop down, and select type on path. What it does is gives you this curve with a dotted path around it, and I'm going to click on the path that I've just created, and it gives me a default font, Lorem Ipsum font, on the path. Now we've been instructed to type TTS is 10, so I'm going to type TTS is 10. Exclamation. Yeah, that's quite small, so we are going to change the font size to at least cover almost. I think 150 is too big. I think 140 is okay for this. And the font that was used in the question is a Comic Sans font. So I'm going to select Comic Sans. Let's see if I have a different version. I think the regular is okay. So I'll need to reduce it. Okay, so I'm good to go. And it's black. So it's going to remain black. And we need to type the text we're going to put beneath. For the purposes of time, I am just going to copy it. So we are done with this, and then we are done with the curved part about the balloons. All these are tracked marks. And okay, so I'm going to select the text that's going to go beneath, and I'm going to copy that. So since we are going to use the same type font or the same, we're just going to click here once, reduce the size because it's not going to be that big. I think 48 is okay. Then I can paste what we have here and rearrange the text. Make sure it's think it's okay. Bring it to the middle, just beneath here. I think that's okay. A big thank you to all our clients. Next thing the question requires is we are going to export. The text should be red with a black outline. We nearly forgot that. And then we're going to save the image as TTS. After saving the image as TTS, we are going to export a copy of the image in a bitmap format with a transparent background. So we have 3 things to do here. The text should be red with a black outline. 1. We are going to save the image as TTS. And lastly, we are going to export the image with a transparent background. So 1, 2, 3. So first we're going to change the font color to red, and we're going to give it a black stroke there. Next, we are going to save the file. Let's be sure of the name, TTS10. Save as, because we don't want to lose the previous file. We saved it in as 3 balloons. So TTS 10, one word, save. Now we are going to export as a bitmap image with a transparent background. So to do that, we are going to go into File, Export, and select Export As. Now it's already giving you the name that you saved it in previously, and it has given you the correct file format, which is PNG, Portable Network Graphics. And we are going to select Export. Make sure Use Artboard is not selected. Now the resolution 300 is fine. Type Optimize Hinted, and make sure the transparent color, the background color, is on transparent, as you can see here. And then you click OK. Okay, so I think we are done with that. Now let's go into our folder and make sure all the files we were required of, we should have 6 of them in all, are available. We have the 3 balloons, the blue balloon, the green, the red balloon, TTS10 in AI format, and TTS10 in a bitmap format with a transparent background. So I'm going to go back to the question, and I think we are done with part 1. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in part 2. Do well to like and subscribe to my page. It's NBA Creates. Once again, thanks for watching. Bye bye.